My name's Tobyjem Kebbellom and I play Koba. He's an ex-lab ape, so he's been in a lab for 20 years before he met Cezar, before Cezar and his crew released him in the first film. And now we're in a habitat that is purely apes. And I'd say Koba's very happy in that place. What I found studying apes from laboratories was that they didn't necessarily know how to quadruped. They didn't necessarily know the social structure of being an ape. There were some instincts, but a lot of those had been changed by being around only human beings. Cezar has basically taught him again, even though he's technically a teenage ape, but a grown ape. He's being taught again how to follow his instincts. Koba and his rage come from being mistrusted, being mistreated, and being ignored. Koba's position now is one of trust and caring and leadership. Koba leads the hunt when we start this film. That's his position, and I think he's very happy with it. I don't think that's a heavy position of responsibility, but I think he has, he likes the position he has of looking after the younger apes and guiding them in the tradition. Cezar is he's our leader, but not in a dictatorial way. He's just the one who released us all, who had this idea and brought us this virus from the laboratory that actually gave us intelligence. Yeah, our relationship is very brotherly. He has saved my life, saved my life, then changed my life. And, thus I owe him my life. And for that, I'd stand by his side through anything. When Koba feels like Cezar starts to overrule without really listening to what was said, Koba's paranoia and mistrust comes back into play. The psychopathy of Koba is that he is trusting until you're untrustworthy, and once you're untrustworthy, he no longer trusts you at all, and there'll be nothing you can do to get back into his favor. What I loved when we were working with Matt and Andy, right at the beginning, was the conversations they were having about how the drug affected, how the virus technically affected apes differently, and a bright ape would become brighter, someone who is aware of his surroundings would become hyper-aware. Performance capture was introduced to me by Andy. When I first auditioned for the film, it was with Andy, luckily enough. So right from the outset, I had an excellent teacher. And I'm sure everybody else who's watching this film will think that it's all computer generation and how advanced computer generation's got. Well, so this is a personal favorite scene for me because Matt was very open in this scene when I suggested that there might be a different way to go about it than what was in the script. Because the script was so fantastic and tight as a drum. But it was just one of those where I felt like the cruelest thing for me is when someone comes to something very violent in the beginning in a very friendly manner. We'd already had a scene previous to this where they'd caught me in the armory, the human's armory. And we get to this situation because Koba decides with Gray and Stone to go back and get proof. What Koba's trying to do is switch this scene on them. So he wants to switch the situation of them assuming he was some dumb ape and they'd threatened him with guns and he had gone and disappeared, to this time playing the game with them, which was that I'm just a jokey, dopey ape and I want to sit down with you and you're drinking alcohol. And so I said, could I take a sip and then blow it back in their face? And for me, this scene matters a lot, and when I watched it today for the first time when you showed it to me, I couldn't believe how it was the same. And it was exactly what I'd hoped for, so that's testament to Matt as a director and his trust for me, and I'm so pleased it came out the way it did. There's no restriction. It's actually you're very bare in that motion capture suit, so you use a lot of imagination to conjure reality. And of course you're doing it for two other actors, two human beings who are on the screen, who have sat in makeup, who have been through the normal process of being an actor, and they need to feel that reality. Filmmaking is about fantasy, it's not real life, that's a documentary, but it still needs to have an element that helps you encourage your emotions, and I think the nicest compliment I got was from both those chaps who really felt for moments like they were sitting with an ape. Rocket's the right-hand man to Cezar. It's just that Koba wants to stick his oar in. He wants them to know that if they don't listen to the reason, there's also a rhyme to this situation.